Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I have a pretty exciting video. This here is a 2021 Toyota GR Supra, and I'm really excited to do a video on this car. And I also want to kind of talk about how it compares to my BMW M2. I know there's a lot of people out there that do cross shop the Supra and the M2. So let's go ahead and start off in the front here. By the way, I apologize, it's extremely dirty. The car's black and it just rained, so it's like super dirty right now. But let's go and look at the headlights. So these are LED headlights. It has kind of a triple beam design, which is pretty cool. It does have front parking sensors. Has a nice aggressive front end to it. And this car actually is really small. Like, the hood's pretty long, but the car itself is actually a really small car. So in comparison to my M2, the M2 feels like a much bigger vehicle. And then once we get inside, I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Got these 4-piston brakes in the front with the 19-inch wheels. This front tire is a 255/35/19. And then if we go here to the back, by the way, this one is a premium. The back is a 275/35/19. So a little bit wider in the back. This one is finished in the black paint, obviously, as you guys can see. Got the nice dual exhaust there, LED taillights. By the way, this car is for sale at Godin Ford here in Las Vegas. So if you guys are interested, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to help you guys out on this one. But it is a really good looking car. It's nice and small and compact. It kind of has some cool body lines to it. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and check out that B58. All right, guys, popping the hood here. It does have the hood struts. This is the 3.0 inline 6, known as the B58. It's a very good engine. It's very smooth, has a really good power band. You guys will be able to find that out later in the video as we take it for a spin. But this is an excellent engine. It gets really good gas mileage too, close to 30 on the highway. So it does get slightly better than my M2, which has the S58 engine, because the M2 gets about like 5 mpg less than this one. So if you're looking for fuel economy, the B58 definitely has better fuel economy. Let's look at the materials in here. So it is a fairly soft touch right here. It's somewhat soft touch here. This material doesn't feel like the nicest material in the world, but you know, it's fine, it's soft. I would say it's a little bit lower quality than my M2, but not by a lot. Got your 2 window controls and everything there, a really small door pocket. It says Toyota Supra. It's got these cool looking seats. The leather on the seats does seem kind of plasticky and fake. I think the Vernasca in my M2 is a little bit better, but they're fine, you know, they're seats. There's our lighting controls, the steering wheel. Let's go ahead and hop inside here. All right, guys, we are in the Supra, and I will say it's pretty tight. So if you guys don't know, I'm 6'5". I kind of have a long torso, so headroom is really important to me. The headroom is okay, but I do kind of touch the top. This car doesn't have a sunroof, but it's just the nature of the car. It's so small that my head does kind of touch the top. This area right here comes out kind of far, so you don't have a lot of like wiggle room for your knees. It does feel like the interior is like pretty tight. And then if you look to the side here, this window comes down really far towards the end of the window, so your visibility is kind of limited if you're tall like me. Now if you're shorter and you're like down here, then it's not as bad, but if you're tall and you're like up here like me, you know, your visibility is a little bit limited right here. So it is really tight. Shoulder space is not all that much, so if you're a bigger person, the Supra is not going to be comfortable for you. But if you're smaller, like my frame is small, I'm just tall, so I fit in the seat fine. It is a little hard, but you know, they hold you in okay. We got some carbon fiber trim over here. We got the sport mode, traction control, and all that good stuff here. This is to control the iDrive. I don't know which iDrive is in this one. Probably iDrive 7, I'd assume. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Easy to use climate controls, heated seats, dual zone climate control. Very easy to use there. As far as technology, my M2 does feel like it has more technology, but I think that's partly due to the fact that it came out in 2023, whereas this came out in 2020. So it has like more updated technology. But the technology's not bad. We got our speedometer there. You see our little tachometer there. Really smooth sounding engine. I will say that the B58 does sound better than the S58 in my personal opinion. It's definitely a good sounding inline 6. Let's go ahead and turn it on sport mode and see how it sounds. You get quite a bit of burbles and pops back there, so that's pretty cool. We'll check that out a little bit later. But aside from that, you know, you got LED lights, it looks like. Yep, LED lights. Everything else is pretty simple. Got a little tiny visor here, really small visor with a light on it. But before we take this car for a spin, let's go and check out the trunk space. Stepping out of this car, I will say that it's a lot harder to get in and out of than my M2. My M2, you do kind of have to drop in it as well, but this one you really kind of have to crawl to get out of it. Not a big deal though, you kind of expect that with a sports car. Let's go ahead and pop the trunk here. I don't even know if there's a button back here actually. Might have to press the button up here. All right, let's see how this trunk space is all about. Okay, so it's blue certified, so got a little bit of warranty there. Not a lot of storage space back here, I'm gonna be honest. It's got this little tiny area, so the M2 definitely has more storage space. This is a hatch, so it's more open to the front, but yeah, if you're looking for storage space, the M2 has it, the Supra does not, and then the M2 also has a rear seat if you need to use it in a pinch or if you just want to put stuff back there. So it's definitely a lot smaller vehicle, but let's go ahead and get it out on the road and see how it drives. One thing I will say though is that the carpet in here is a little bit higher quality than my M2's carpet. So this carpet has a little bit of give to it. It's a little bit more soft and plush. My M2 carpet feels a little bit more like Velcro, which is kind of surprising because I thought that they would have the nice carpet in the M2 as well, but this carpet's a lot nicer, so I will say that. But let's go and put it in drive here. We're in just the normal mode right now. Let's see how it drives. So as you guys know, this is the ZF 8-speed automatic, which is in my opinion the best automatic transmission you can buy. As far as like torque converter autos, you know, I'm sure the Porsche PDK and all that's good, but torque converter autos, I think the ZF 8-speed's the best. Visibility looking out of here, it is a little bit tight. You know, just your sight lines, you know, it's just a really small vehicle, but part of it being small is that it feels like you're like connected with the car, because there's no room for you to like move around, and it's so small that it feels like you're just, I don't know, it feels like you're just really connected with the car. All right guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out onto the road here. Very smooth, and a lot of torque too. Lots of torque. One thing I've noticed driving this car is that it does feel a lot more torquey than my M2. Just because of the nature of the B58 and how it's tuned, you know, it makes more power in like the lower end. So like just dipping onto the gas there, like really impressive power, or torque I should say. That's torque that I'm feeling. Like, yeah, really good. And it sounds good too, like it's a really good sounding engine. But yeah, very smooth. Steering feels nice and direct. Let's go ahead and make it right here. Looks to have good grip too, like the tires aren't spinning all over the place. Let's go and put it in sport mode here and turn off our traction on just the one setting. I'm not going to turn it all the way off, just the one setting, because I am still holding the GoPro here. Very responsive. Sounds good too. Wow. Very fast. Wow, that's really impressive. If you guys don't know, I did run a Supra in my Golf R while my Golf R was stage 1 tune, and even with the stage 1 tune, the Supra is still faster. So it's definitely a really quick car. Lots of torque, really impressive with the torque. Downshift a second. Let's see how the turning radius is. We're gonna make a U-turn here. Oh yeah, the turning radius, wow, that is really good. That turning radius is better than my M2 for sure. Really impressive turning radius there. Wow, this engine is so eager to just get up and move. The torque is so good, you don't even have to rev it out, really. Now my S58 has good torque too in my M2, but this one just feels a little bit better low end wise. Yeah, that's really impressive. And I do like the burbles. The burbles, so not only does the B58 sound really good, but the burbles sound really good too. Yeah, this is an impressive car. I see why people like the Supra so much. Although I did see some report that said that Supra sales are down, which I'm surprised because it's a great car. There is a few things, like the steering wheel on this one doesn't feel nearly as like nice as my M2 steering wheel. Like just the leather used and everything, and you know, there's no like leather stitching around the horn button or any of that stuff. But you know, rightfully so, the M2 is more expensive. But I know there are a lot of people that cross shop these cars. I definitely considered a Supra before I got my M2. I just figured I'd want something with a little bit more performance because I did have a 10-speed Mustang GT. So I wanted something with a little bit more performance than that. And the Supra and the 10-speed GT are around the same. Like, they're really close. Yeah, that low end torque is just really impressive. Wow. Wow, that low end torque is really good, guys. That is really impressive. Yeah, so I mean, my thoughts on the Supra, it's a great car. Like, aside from, like, there's a few things that feel a little cheap, and it's not a big deal, to be honest with you. There are a few things that feel a little cheap, you know, like some of the materials used and all that, and the steering wheel material. But the car itself is really good. Really, really good. And the fact that you can get such good gas mileage with this car too is just the cherry on top. But anyway, like I said, if you guys are interested in the Supra, feel free to contact me in the comments. We can set something up. This car is for sale, so let me know if you're interested. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.